Hi, I'm Todd Branch. Last week we talked about putting and marking your lie. This week we're going to talk about upshots. Now basically an upshot is a shot where you're not close enough to really feel good about making the putt, so you're going to want to throw a shot that has a chance to go in, but no matter what will stay close to the basket so you can make your next shot. Helping us out this week, and as usual, my good friend Dave Feldberg.
How are we doing today?
And we're going to move over to our mini that we've already placed and show you a little bit about marking your lie for an upshot.
Okay, so it's similar to putting where you're allowed the same amount when I said 30 centimeters behind the mini. You still have to be directly behind the mini, no farther than the 30 centimeters, and a straight line through the basket. Now if the basket's over there, you have to line up over there. You don't line up behind it. It's always through the center of the basket. So there's two ways of doing this. Some people would choose to throw it nose up. When I mean nose up, it's going to kind of climb. See how that's nose up? Didn't go anywhere. It leaves you about a 15-foot putt. No chance of it getting out of your hand. Other players are much more confident with their putting and really want to run a shot like this. So they step up and they throw a more flat line right at it. I'm not worried about how far it goes past because they're confident they'll make the putt.
Why don't you show us what you're doing with your foot placement there? Now before, when we were talking about marking your line, your foot placement, you just stood on your spot through your putt. And in this situation, Dave's taking a couple of steps before he throws.
Yes, I'm making sure, I do a practice run to make sure that I'm behind it. And then I'm allowed, as I go through, to come through with my foot. Because see, remember, I'm outside 33 feet. Remember we talked about that last
10
week?
meters. Dave's about 110 feet away here. If he were to have a tailwind, he would need to throw a little bit higher and with a little more oomph, because the tailwind tends to take the disc and knock it down short and make it drop. If he were to be shooting with a headwind, the wind would cause the disc to lift up in the air and maybe even blow back at you a little. So you want to keep the headwind up shots a little bit lower and with a little more zip on those as well. If he had the wind coming from the left, and left and right winds, typically if you can throw it nice and straight and don't let the wind hit the top or the bottom of the disc, it'll go nice and straight. But if you turn the disc a little, if you show the bottom of the disc to the wind, say the wind was coming from this direction and hitting the bottom of the disc, it would pick the disc up and take it off to the right. Whereas if it were angled this way and the wind were hitting the top of the disc, it would push the disc down. So in an upshot situation, you would mostly want to keep the top of the disc facing whichever way the wind's coming from to keep it from flying away on you. If the wind's hitting the top, it'll keep the shot down and into the grass. And Dave's going to throw a couple of shots here and sort of show us what we're talking about. Okay, there he showed the bottom of the disc to the wind. It was a very good shot. It flew right on by. The wind helped it stay in the air. Got a little bit of distance. Not much of a wind here. If he throws it the other way, where he's going to show the top of the disc to the wind, that'll cause the shot to go down a little quicker. Also a very good shot. Dave's a good wind player, so he knew what he was doing. But on those two shots, the first one, the wind carried it a little further than it normally would have gone. And on the second shot, it knocked it down a little bit quicker. So that was throwing up shots and playing the wind this week. Thanks for your help, Dave. We went over running the shot and just keeping it close. The main idea with throwing up shots is you want to give it a chance to go in, but you want to be certain that it stays close for your next shot.
Approaching is the most important part of the game. Keeping it close to the basket is what shaves strokes off rounds. Pros don't keep it farther than out of the 30-foot range because that's how they get the good scores. Bogeys are created when people make bad approaches, not bad drives.
So that's your tip for this week, and as always, we'll see you every week. Try and teach you a little bit more about this game that we love so much.
Next week it'll be on the tees, so we'll see you on the fairways. Happy flights.